President Williams. What the hell? President Williams. Members of RISD's Board of Trustees and Museum Board of Governors, emeriti trustees, cherished students, faculty, staff, and parents, alumni and friends, on behalf of the Rhode Island School of Design Board of Trustees, it is my esteemed honor to welcome you to the inauguration of Rhode Island School of Design's 18th President, Krista Williams. We also extend a warm welcome to the visiting delegates from other colleges and universities with us today. We're blessed and humbled to have so many here today. In particular, we offer thanks and appreciation to the presidents joining us from Benjamin Franklin Cummings Institute of Technology, Brown University, Community College of Rhode Island, Dean College, Johnson and Wales College, Lewis and Clark College, Massachusetts College of Art and Design, Montserrat College of Art, Pace University, Pratt University, Salve Regina University, and the University of Rhode Island. I would also like to extend our warm welcome and gratitude to two individuals who I'm going to ask to wave. Marilyn McCormick, mentor, teacher, and inspiring role model to a young Krista Williams from the Cass Technical High School in Detroit. And Kay Turan from Portland, Oregon, who's touched Crystal and who said before walking in here, without these two women, I wouldn't be here today. Thank you for coming to celebrate with us. Last year, we began the search for our next president with a grand vision for who we needed at the helm of our cherished institution. We sought a leader with the experience, wisdom, and vision to educate artists, designers, and scholars for a rapidly changing future. One who could guide us in helping to create a more just, fair, and sustainable society. And one who would see and value each and every member of our community and lift us up to reach our limitless potential. We dreamed big, we searched far and wide, and we found all that RISD needed and much more in President Williams. In principle and practice, President Williams shares our deep and unwavering belief in the power of art and design to change the world. Today, we as a community celebrate President Williams and we celebrate RISD. An incredible milestone like this is an opportunity to look back with reverence, to marvel at the present, and to imagine what the future can hold. Today, we look back to the intrepid group of women who founded RISD 145 years ago, long before women had the right to vote. They sought not only to educate students and the public in the creation and appreciation of works of art and design, but to transmit the knowledge and make global contributions. A century and a half later, we remain steadfastly focused on that mission. Today, we also celebrate the present with joy and awe. RISD is a creative community like no other. Every day here on campus and around the globe, we demonstrate the vital role art and design plays in society. And today, we look forward to all that awaits. With President Williams leading us ahead, RISD's future holds unlimited possibility and promise. It's now my great pleasure to introduce Eileen Chaikin, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees, alumna, RISD parent, and all-around amazing individual.
That's me. I'm Eileen Chaikin. I'm a television writer and producer and director in Los Angeles. I'm a RISD alumna, graphic design 1979. Yeah. A parent of a RISD graduate, Furniture 2018, and a member of the RISD Board of Trustees since 2019. And I'm here today, in keeping with tradition, to introduce the inauguration of RISD's 18th president as follows. RISD's Board of Trustees is pleased to commemorate the inauguration of Crystal Williams as the 18th president. Hold on, let me amend that. RISD's Board of Trustees is thrilled, excited, honored, stoked, electrified, inspired, exhilarated, and invigorated to kick off the inauguration of Crystal Williams as the 18th president of Rhode Island School of Design. This is an awesome occasion and one that fills me and my fellow trustees with a true sense of purpose and a renewed belief in the future of this great school. The role and responsibility of a college board of trustees, in case you were wondering, is to help set and implement the school's mission in a variety of ways. We play a role in developing and approving the college's strategic goals and objectives, helping to establish policies related to programs and services. We approve the annual budget and set fees for major programs. But undoubtedly, the most important and consequential facet of our charge is the choosing of a president. It's a challenge, or should we call it an opportunity, that arises only every so often, and one that requires us as trustees to engage attentively with all the school's constituencies, faculty, administration, parents, alumni, and most importantly, the students. We did engage, we listened. Here's what you told us. You wanted a president that would uplift and inspire RISD. You hoped for a president who would be available and accessible, not cloistered and aloof. You longed for a president who would participate genuinely in conversations with you and who would maintain an openness and willingness to change course if that were to become necessary. You felt RISD deserved someone who revered the process of making, the essentialness of personal expression, the limitless scope and power of design, the essential true purpose of critique, and you thought it would be cool if RISD's new leader could even be a galvanizing voice speaking on those values out in the world at large. But you demanded that RISD's new president be a person that embodied the principles of inclusivity, sustainability, equity, and justice. You demanded a president who would see, hear, and believe you if you found that RISD had somehow failed those principles. And in fact, you demanded a president that not only understands that the future of RISD depends on a multifaceted commitment to equity in art and design, but one who also knows how to implement that commitment. Crystal Williams is an educator whose career has been dedicated to transforming our society through the arts and through advocacy. She's made her mark conceiving, designing, and advancing systems for the implementation of equitable pedagogy. She has real-world and meaningful experience doing this work and a gift for articulating both the need for it and the outcomes she's achieved and those she yet envisions. She is herself an artist whose medium is poetry, whose poems, in the words of one reviewer, rage against the assumptions that restrict human possibilities and sing the necessities of imaginative space. Isn't that the aspiration, the ethos, and the essence of RISD? For me, it is and has been since I first encountered this transformative school. Even before that, 1877, when RISD's founder, Helen Metcalf, defied tradition and convinced the Rhode Island Women's Centennial Commission to invest in a school of art and design instead of building a public fountain. In her day, it was considered a radical experiment. Tonight, if you drink, I hope you'll drink a toast to radical women. We here at RISD have a beautiful and complex relationship with tradition. As a College of Art and Design, we teach and preserve many of the oldest and most tactile of them, but as is the nature of artists, we're often compelled to upend them, tear them down, or at the very least, redesign them. During the investiture ceremony, in keeping with tradition, the trustees will bestow on President Williams an ornate necklace known as the Chain of Office. In researching this tradition, I learned that this object, a symbol of the president's authority and service to the college, harks back to medieval livery collars. Perhaps with a view to decoloniality, RISD's Chain of Office has been redesigned by various RISD artists over the course of the school's history. The necklace that will be bestowed on President Williams today is a striking, interpretive, and decidedly untraditional iteration. I'm confident that President Williams will upend the darker implications of that symbolism while embracing and amplifying its evolutionary meaning. And also, as you can tell, Crystal Williams will look fabulous in those jewels. My recollection from my first meeting with Crystal during the presidential search process is that among the practical, theoretical, procedural, artistic, and scholarly things we discussed, we also talked at some length about joy. What a joy it is to welcome Crystal Williams as RISD's 18th president. Thank you.
Hello. I'm Graciela, a junior in illustration, concentrator in literary arts, bilingual storyteller, and part of the Puerto Rican diaspora, and older sister of 3. I really love self-introductions because they allow a person to define but also redefine themselves. Introductions offer a restart. I also love to introduce others. to shine the light on them in hopes of capturing their essence. In her film Camera Person, Kirsten Johnson points out that the camera person enables the people they film the chance to see themselves as a subject, worthy of time and attention. Helping someone see themselves as a subject is why I decided to be a visual and literary artist. I aspire to make the people of my island feel seen, valued, and heard. And the same goes for my friends, family, and all those who inspire me to learn more. Take self and other introductions one step further and you have a conversation. Two people simultaneously learning about each other from each other. I'm also a big fan of the conversation. When I first had a conversation with Crystal Williams over lunch at the Met, she asked about my story, where I called home, what my parents did, how I enjoyed Providence in comparison to Puerto Rico. The list went on. She wanted to know what made me passionate and how RISD could support and encourage these pursuits. Today, you're learning about her story, how she was a poet, how much she prioritizes the spaces of her community. When I met Crystal, she told me how many years it took her to get her undergrad degree and how excited her mom was when she finally did. But she also shared how excited she was to eat at the Met and talk to the students. I was intrigued that even when delving into her own story, she turned it back to the students. I was struck by her curiosity and humility. But I also wondered, what are the subplots in her story? What does she care about, believe in? What does she want to create? Crystal, we can't wait to find out. As you define and redefine yourself as president of RISD, I'm inspired by your genuine care for students and how you bear witness to our experience as individuals. I wonder what this will look like over time, as that witnessing extends to a whole community. Your presidency offers a chance for each of us, all of us, to restart, to know ourselves and one another, and to engage in authentic conversations that lead to real change. Okay, bye.
If Harun Wasim can join the dais and please speak to the community.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Before I start, let's give a huge shout out to President Williams first. My name is Harun Wasim. I'm from Pakistan, and I'm a thesis year graduate student in the Industrial Design Department. Coming from a mechanical engineering background, I strive to develop technologies that advocate responsibility to the community through design. The latter part is the reason I chose to come to RISD, integrating myself within a community of creative geniuses. After my tenure at RISD, I plan to work in research, experimentation, and development of innovative technologies. My time at RISD has taught me how to design from the ground up, and that's what I've seen President Williams do ever since she has joined RISD. She might not remember this, but I have already been able to meet her at several different student exhibitions and events. While meeting and talking with the president of the college is an honor in its own, seeing her appreciating my fellow students' work reaffirms my belief that as students, what we say and what we do matters to Crystal Williams. Our voices, our opinions, and our concerns will all be important to the new president. With the arrival of President Williams, the best days for RISD are ahead of all of us. On behalf of graduate student at RISD, I welcome you, President Williams. May your tenure be prosperous and your interactions with each of us put a smile on your face. Thank you.
On behalf of the Rhode Island School of Design faculty, if Professor Muzaffar can please address us at the dais.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'm Ijlal Muzaffar. I'm Department Head of Theory and History of Art and Design. Been here 10 years, so I feel now, I'm part of the older group. It's an honor, an absolute honor and pleasure to welcome President Williams. I also had the honor to meet her a few times during the interview process. So I was not surprised when during the inauguration sort of planning, we had a committee, faculty was involved, President Williams was involved, when she said that she wanted this to be not just her inauguration, but our entire RISD's inauguration, especially faculty's inauguration. And she wanted to have this event not just be a celebration, but also have an intellectual heart to it. And nothing makes it, it's happier or makes a faculty happier than to nerd something out. So, we were all very excited. But this made me think that if to accept this invitation, right, if we are all accepting as a faculty, as a body, as a student, what are we inaugurating, right, as a change in values, not just a president, but with her invitation, this entire transformation. This reminded me of this wonderful book, The Black Interior by poet Elizabeth Alexander, who was the inaugural poet at President Obama's inauguration herself. And she makes a particularly painful point in that book. She says there's no public room, literally or metaphorically, in which, not just in the United States, but in the entire Western world at large, no space where Black subconscious can be fully and freely articulated. There's no public room in which Black pains, hopes, fears, and aspiration can emerge without being marginalized or forced to be turned into slogans. Black artists and writers know this burden well. For Elizabeth Alexander, this relegation to a special room, to a special show, a special issue, amounts to the continued denial of full personhood to the Black self. This bears asking then for all of us, isn't this what art and design is supposed to do? To create room for all fears, hope, pains, and joys, give them all substance, beauty, veracity, without seeing some as pure art and others as activist or political art? This has been our challenge. For over 100 years, we had denied recognizing Black, brown, queer, and indigenous experiences as the basis, as legitimate basis for art and design. Now we have been involved in exceptionalizing them, putting them in showcase events and safe spaces, and institutions tend to do that when they're trying to transform. To articulate the full interiority of these other selves, to recognize their full interiors, we then have to change not just one space, one gallery, but transform all spaces, all rooms of RISD. Only then we can talk about these experiences not as exceptions, political statements or activisms, but as experiences of the world in themselves. And they are experiences of the world at large, of majority of the world. Only when we have challenged all of RISD, its curriculum, its administrative procedures, its hiring practices, its values, only then the burden of explaining these experiences will no longer fall on Black, Indigenous, and people of color. If this is our collective inauguration, then let this be a moment when we pledge to learn to talk about art and design in ways in which Blackness and decolonization are central, not marginal or exceptional. And what better opportunity can we ask for to do or to make this change than under the leadership of a new president who's a poet, whose work strives to create rooms for unarticulated thoughts for everyone. Welcome, President Williams. May under your leadership we be able to answer the call of our students and create fuller interiors for all ourselves. Thank you.
On behalf of the Rhode Island School of Design staff, Doug Borkman will offer greetings to President Williams.
Dream, practice, commitment, vocation, and family. I've been studying and teaching at RISD for over 30 years, and RISD has been all of those things to me. It was a dream for me to come to RISD in 1989 as a graduate student. it was the best place for me to learn my practice. I'm proud to be here today to represent the commitment of our staff that keeps RISD running seamlessly. Our talented staff has shown great dedication to RISD. Staying in a role for many years transforms it from a job into a vocation, demonstrating the dedication and commitment to be the best. A tremendous amount of work goes into not just running a school, but the preparation and support for art making as we build the next generation of artists and designers. Our staff have shown, especially through COVID, that we are deeply devoted to the mission of RISD. Therefore, we are so excited to welcome our new president, Crystal Williams. We appreciate her enthusiasm for RISD and the new perspectives that she will bring to the presidency. It takes a team to make us the best art and design school, and we're excited for President Williams' inclusive vision to bring RISD forward. We anticipate many productive years under her leadership and look forward to working with her to shape the future of RISD. Thank you.
On behalf of RISD's 30,000 alumni living and residing in over 100 countries, Rick Zhuang will offer greetings, having traveled from Hong Kong.
Good morning. My name is Rex Wong, and on behalf of the RISD Alumni Association, it is my great honor and pleasure to welcome Crystal Williams as the 18th President of Rhode Island School of Design. Congratulations, President Williams. Today is a very special day. Of course, the investiture of President Williams, but also today is a special day because it marks the 146th anniversary of the first class ever held at RISD. Wow. And at the time, there were only just 43 students at the college. Today, as we mark the ceremonial beginning of your presidency, we celebrate alongside current students, their families, faculty, and staff as a global community of 31,000 alumni from 125 countries. As a proud member of the class of 2003 in architecture and president of RISD's Alumni Association, I know how vital and hardworking RISD alumni are. When we surveyed alumni over the summer, RISD graduates said that the majority of the work they do is dedicated to making the world a better place. Think about the positive impact that has on our world. RISD alumni are also eager to work on behalf of this institution and with President Williams. We look forward to engaging with you, supporting you, and your leadership of RISD into the future. We are ready to go to work for you and for RISD. Yes. But alongside work, we also dream. To borrow an acronym coined by Donald Choi, who is my predecessor as the president of the Alumni Association, RISD, R-I-S-D, has also come to mean the reason I still dream. Yes. So from foundation year assignments that change our assumptions about art, to the mindset and relationships we developed here, RISD is a beloved and powerful place and fuels us as we imagine futures together. President Williams, as leader of RISD, you hold many dreams in your hands. From alumni and current students to all the young people who dream of joining this special community, we are honored to have you as president and the steward of RISD as it approaches its 150th anniversary and beyond. Thank you.
On behalf of all of the esteemed leaders of higher education gathered here today, it's my pleasure to introduce President Christina Hole-Paxson of Brown University, offering greetings to President Williams.
Thank you, Michael, and good afternoon, everybody. I am so thrilled to be here today to celebrate the inauguration of President Crystal Williams. And on behalf of the Brown University community, higher education community across Rhode Island, globally, around the country, please accept my most heartfelt congratulations. So many things make President Williams a remarkable leader. She has an ability to bring people together. She is an advocate for the arts, and her commitment to equity and justice is very well known. After she was appointed, I kept getting emails from people saying, "You are so lucky she's coming to Rhode Island." And she's an incredible community builder, and she's an incredible collaborator. And I think everything I've seen so far suggests that that's absolutely true. I want to say just a few words about Brown and RISD. We are the closest of neighbors. Our students intermingle. Our backyards are literally adjoined. And now, we all know neighbors don't always get along, but we are very fortunate that in our case, we actually do. And that's a great thing. There's a very genuine and deeply held appreciation for the unique opportunities that our two schools offer students and community for faculty. There's an easy openness across the spheres of life of these two institutions. So Brown is incredibly fortunate to have such an esteemed partner to collaborate with, learn from in so many different ways, and the experience of exchange has been incredible over the years. I know that President Williams shares in the pride that I have in the success of the Brown RISD dual degree program that's been in place for nearly 15 years. And early in my time at Brown, I remember going to a lab and just being completely wowed by a dual degree student who was bringing her artistic skills to bear on studying and illuminating the role of phosphorescence in sea life and somehow relating this to brain science. It was amazing. She was fabulous. We cherish this program, and it enables students to bring together artistic, humanistic, scientific knowledge with just incredibly striking results. And we're committed to continuing to build on these institutional collaborations. Just last year, we launched a joint master's program in design engineering, which is preparing just incredibly talented students who are making things that will, designing, making, implementing things that will make the world a better place. So as we move forward, I know that Brown and RISD will continue to be collaborative partners, linking research and teaching on design and innovation. And I'm just very excited about that. Now, so far I've noted our institutional connections, but I also have to note the personal. As I've come to know President Williams, Crystal, in the last 6 months, I've appreciated her down-to-earth pragmatism, her wry humor and amazing smile, her unerring sense of what's right and wrong, coupled with an unerring sense of style, both great things, her keen academic judgment, and her kindness and generosity. And I couldn't be more thrilled that she is part of our community. So congratulations to all of us, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
In honor of this historic occasion, we will hear a poem, and Gabby Calvacoresi will address us now. Gabby.
a poet president. That's great. It means so much to me to be here today. From the world of poets, for whom Crystal means so much, those of us who live within institutions, those of us who live outside of institutions, Crystal is a leader for all of us. And I know today on social media and all over, everyone's going, Crystal, with a million exclamation points behind them. Poets can't believe it today. Who knew we'd get this far? Crystal is all of our president. At last, the new arriving. Like the horn you played in Catholic school, this city will open its mouth and cry out, don't worry about nothing. Don't mean no thing. It will leave you stunned as a fighter with his eyes swelled shut, who's told he won the whole damn purse. It will feel better than any floor that's risen up to meet you. It will rise like Easter bread, golden and familiar in your grandmother's hands. She'll come back, heaven having been too far from home to hold her. Oh, it will be beautiful. Every girl will ask you to dance, and the boys won't kill you for it. Shake your head, dance until your bones clatter. What a prize you are. What a lucky sack of stars.
Introducing the 18th president of the Rhode Island School of Design, provost of the new school, Renee T. White.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, come on. Come on. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to pick this up so you can really hear me. All right, that's what I want to hear. So I am so honored to be celebrating President Williams, my friend, mi hermana, mi compañera de alma. So we met at a program for leaders in higher education called HERS. And it did not take long to see that she is a person of depth, substance, and enormous wit. So you have in her the most marvelous and visionary leader, and here's why. First, I want to talk a little bit about Crystal the poet. And I actually, at home, refer to her and my family as Crystal the poet. It's actually like her name, Crystal the poet. So as many of you already know, she has published 4 collections of poems, and her work has regularly appeared in the nation's leading journals and magazines and in numerous anthologies. Crystal has been commissioned twice by the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, and her work has been recognized by many honors and awards and fellowships, including a fellowship from the MacDowell Arts Colony, an appointment as the Distinguished Visiting Professor of University Writing at DePauw University, and a Master Poet residency at Indiana University. So she cut her teeth as an artist in many places, including New York, where she lived in her early 20s, honing her skills as a poet and performer, and supporting herself as a bartender. She was a regular at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. It is also in New York where Crystal completed her college degree. She had dropped out of school and ended up completing her degree at New York University. And I recommend checking out the episode of public television's Stories from the Stage, featuring Crystal telling a little bit of her story. She explains how someone saw something so incredibly special in her that they actually created a managerial or manager-level job just for her to make sure that she was eligible for tuition remission so that she could complete her degree. So this story is important because it foreshadows what Crystal would do in her own career, seeding potential, creating opportunities in ways unforeseen, and charting new terrains. So consider her many firsts. She was Reed College's inaugural dean for institutional diversity. Then at Bates College, she served as their first associate vice president and chief diversity officer, and then associate vice president, I lost my spot there, for strategic initiatives. And then finally, she was Boston University's first chief diversity officer, and then became their vice president and associate provost for community and inclusion. So why did this happen? Because in each case, she envisioned what the institution needed, did the requisite work, and they saw that, and they validated it by creating opportunities in which she could lead and expand the vision. And I have to say that obviously, as we know, she's continuing to be a trailblazer here, and I just have to call out the fact that she is the first Black president. So I want to talk a little bit about the work and give you one example that I think brings together a number of incredible qualities that she inhabits in her very core. So at Bates, Crystal launched a program called The Dinner Table. About 100 students would meet 6 times a semester discussing a prompt. And at the end of the semester, they nominate peers to share their story campus-wide. So why is this important? Because she saw the powerful symbolism of breaking bread as community building and relationship strengthening. Such encounters build empathy, inviting people to move beyond their own experience, to listen and to listen with care. Crystal is also informed by a strong sense of place and relationship. As a girl, she lived for many years in Madrid with her mother, and much of her upbringing was in Detroit. And both experiences shaped her in important ways. What this means is that she builds community and sees beauty where others might not. She creates beauty where others don't see it. And she knows how to make a way out of no way. So wherever she lives, Crystal creates space for others. And I remember attending a lovely event at her home in Boston. And apart from being, always amazed by her incredible art collection and her spectacular and wide and varying taste in art, and her facility with conversations about any number of forms, which is always present in any space where she lives, what really struck me was that she had cultivated a network of artists, scholars, and community leaders in her very first few months in the city. And I had lived in the city for many years and had come nowhere near close doing that. And so what was so powerful to me was that she has this rare ability to know when and also how to connect people to one another. So before I come to the close of my comments, because I have to tell you how hard it was to keep it down to the time limit without riffing and going off on side tangents and whatnot, because there's so many things that I want to say, but I want to get to the task at hand, which is really investing and celebrating Crystal, so I will be brief here. But a couple of personal facts that I think are important for you to know, if you don't already. Crystal is a dog lover, through and through. I mean, she loves dogs. She loves pups, she loves whatever size they are, whatever breed they are. She just cannot get enough of them. So this is like a basic fact about her. So here's the thing, she wants to know their name, she notes their disposition, she befriends them, she gives them characteristics, and then the sort of side benefit for the human is that they also get to know her too, but it's really about the dog. She's also an auntie and a sister friend to many. She is a godmother to many, and her circle and her universe is a really beautiful thing. But a few other things to know about her are that she loves jazz, soul, and R&B. She has very clear and very strong opinions about what makes for a good vocalist and what doesn't. We've had a couple of conversations about that. She is a wonderful cook. She is a joyous companion to travel with, and also has lots of opinions about food. Don't get her started on truffles. But here's the thing, in all seriousness, I hope you see that in President Williams, you have a rigorous and capacious thinker. She is a humanist, ethical and principled. She delights in witnessing the growth and development of students. She will endeavor to ensure that this is the most creative academic environment in which each person will thrive. So there are a lot of people who hold her in high esteem, a lot of friends and colleagues. And I wanted to share some of what they had to say about Crystal. So D.T. Ogilvy, Distinguished Professor of Urban and Entrepreneurship at Rochester Institute of Technology, said, "Crystal is the consummate professional. She is very bright, highly skilled, and also caring and compassionate. She has a wonderful sense of humor. She's a great friend and mentor and has changed the lives of myriads of students." Jill Perrin, Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs at Indiana University South Bend, agrees. "Crystal never hesitates to speak when something must be said. I have always respected her directness, honesty, and the grace with which she approaches challenging topics." Christine H. Schramm, Dean of Students and Associate Vice President of Student Development at University of Dayton, explained, "I was looking at her in awe of her creativity and brilliance and said to her that she is destined to be a university president. The small group that was gathered around us all enthusiastically agreed. We all concurred that between her scholarly understanding and her practice, she would not only be president, but be president of a very cool and creative school, because she would not settle for anything less. It could be called prescient or simply inevitable." According to Linda Leake, Haverford College's provost, and this is about when they first met, "Crystal greeted me by noting that my name is alliterative. And so, when I see her now, she always calls me Linda Leake." This is true. "I connected with Crystal almost immediately. I have enjoyed Crystal as a mentor, sister friend, and scholar, poet, leader, and activist extraordinaire. I know that she will do wonderful things at RISD. RISD is literally the perfect place where she can utilize and engage all of her passions." And then finally, Patty Poulter, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs at Central Arkansas University, recalls this. "When Crystal read Lucille Clifton's Blessing the Boats at St. Mary's, it became an immediate favorite. I read it frequently at student events when we celebrate their next. The opening lines always make me think of Crystal, and they are a kind of blessing for her as she officially takes on these responsibilities. May the tide that is entering even now the lip of our understanding carry you out beyond the face of fear. Congratulations, mi compañera, President Williams. It is your moment."
If I can invite my fellow officers, the Board of Trustees of RISD, to join me, please. Trustees Kamen, Blumberg, Hammond, and Chaikin. It's with profound humility on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the entire RISD community that we now invest the 18th president of the Rhode Island School of Design. Crystal, you stand here. Can you line up from the chain down? Crystal, you come here.
I am done in. Thank you, Jess Brown. I don't even know why I had to look up. I knew who that was. I appreciate you. Before I was a poet, I was a person who wrote poems, a non-traditional student at New York University with a full-time managerial job during the day who took classes at night. One day I was sitting in the program director's office with Ruth, a poet whose poetry class I was in, and as we were talking about my poems, or what I at the time called poems, Ruth observed, "You have an innate talent for language, and specifically sound. Everything you write reflects this, and yet the content of your poems remains superficial, which you get away with because what you write sounds so good. But there's an entire world beneath the words you are writing. That is where the poem actually resides." Just something to think about. So, I left her office, walked down the steps, out of the building and onto Washington Place, and got about a block away before stopping, unable to move. Understanding rooted me and bloomed suddenly. Did I want to be someone with an innate talent who got by, who wrote approximations of poems that sounded delightful but didn't say much? Or did I want to be a poet? To be a poet or any artist requires infinitely more than simply having and expressing innate talent. It requires emotional, intellectual, and disciplinary knowledge. In my case, it would require that I dig down and unearth the muddle of our lives to uncover a common core, realizing new emotional and psychological spaces. It would require that I contextualize, make relevant, and speak the unspoken to and perhaps for others. I thought to myself, you'll have to be a truth teller. You'd have to acquire new tools, new skills. You'll have to get out of your comfort zone. And do you want to work that diligently, that deeply, I wondered? Do you want the world to see what you really think, to know what you really believe and feel? Is what you have to say worth saying, actually? Can you help make this a better place? Do you even want to? And to be honest, I didn't have an immediate answer. I wish I had, because it'd make for a dramatic retelling. But instead, befuddlement and fear swaddled me, which is often, I've learned since, when faced with new spaces and new states of being and realities, the case. Ultimately, I unrooted myself and shuffled home in silence. The following morning, though, an answer: yes. To the 2,620 students of Rhode Island School of Design, each of you is here because you have innate talent, and because at some point, when challenged, you answered yes. To the 600 faculty members, makers, designers, scholars, all, you've posed those challenges to generations of students, these brilliant points of light on the precipice of ignition. And to the 685 staff members, many artists and designers yourselves, you too have supported and amplified the work of our students. We are all here collectively in pursuit and in honor of yes. At RISD, we are here to enable, embolden, and amplify talent through visual, material, and intellectual means. We imbue young people with the skills, knowledge, and habits of mind and action that help transform innately talented individuals into artists, designers, and scholars who change the world. And it's worth stating that every fabric you touch, every piece of apparel, every earring, tool, painting, sculpture, film, animation, every poster, every program pamphlet, every park or building you walk in, every TV show, album, play, book, everything seen, heard, felt, read is the work of artists and designers. And in a societal context, can you imagine a single national or international movement in which the arts were not a motivating and defining force? I have tried, and I cannot. For instance, in this country, the civil rights movement is often characterized as being driven by orators, attorneys, and activists, and yet, when you unpack the requisite strategic components of the movement, beside the visionaries, activists, and strategists we typically call, were yet other visionaries, activists, and strategists, these narrating, depicting, influencing via graphic design, visual arts, performance, literature, film, and television. Their work galvanized the imagination, influenced perception, helped drive strategy, and helped to drive change. Those are just some of the seen ways our work impacts the world. The unseen impact of our thinking, our ideas, challenges the status quo, eschews calcified thinking, and asserts new aspirations for how humanity can and should be. And those ideas, beloveds, are everywhere. In global corporations, in technology, in nonprofits, in education, everywhere. We are the light makers, and we are the light, literally. So, this is not superficial work, it's serious work, serious business. Arts and culture sectors added nearly $900 billion to the American GDP in 2020, so that's almost $1 trillion. Creative people regenerate neighborhoods, revitalize cities, connect communities, and imagine new futures. This is who we are and what we do here. And it is one of the things we've been doing for 150 years, or almost 150 years. Our students, our thinking, and our work imagines, creates, and embodies new possibilities, and in so doing, affects change. And that is why, and they are why, I am so humbled and honored to be here, the 18th president of this astonishing place. So no one actually said another truth, which is that you've got someone who cries readily, easily, and publicly. So, you know, you're gonna have to just deal with it, RISD. Okay. So, RISD's origin story emerges, as you've heard, from the minds of women who in 1877 believed the arts are drivers of human invention, connection, and enterprise. We proudly carry a vanguard past, inhabit a vanguard present, and are co-defining and co-creating a vanguard future. There's a great deal of talk about the historic nature of my appointment. That I am the institution's first Black president is indeed significant. I, too, am now part of RISD's histories, the vanguard, capacious, and beautiful histories, and the exclusionary, inequitable, and unjust histories as well. These realities coexist and underscore the complexity of human experience, the complexity of institutions, the complexity of art and design education, and the complexity of RISD. Because of the work I've long done in the academy to ensure that all people thrive, I knew intellectually that representation is powerful. But I didn't know until I began engaging all of our community, our students, staff, alums, and community members, what my appointment meant to so many at RISD and beyond. I didn't know it. That has to do with me, a Black woman, a poet, a teacher, a change maker. But in my estimation, the bigger story, beloveds, has to do with you, with us, our collective endeavor, our collective aspirations, the new spaces we want to create and inhabit. So now, let me talk a bit about our collective dream space, what defines our aspirations, and what more we, as an institution, say yes to. Over the last 6 months, I've been met with an excited, exquisite hopefulness and optimism. We are galvanized here at RISD around a forward-looking dream about what must become a reality in art and design for the 21st century. Art and design spaces, classrooms, and practices that reflect the full breadth of human dynamism, states of being undergirded by a belief that what makes us distinct from one another is precisely our strength. And from these distinctions emerge new spaces, new possibilities, new answers, broader knowledge, better and more dynamic art and design. I've heard and hear a beautiful community-wide chorus that envisions a campus where the principles, goals, and outcomes of equity and inclusion are centered, ijlal, and central. A chorus that desires to inhabit and co-create a teaching, learning, and working environment where racism, ableism, classism, xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia, and other social scourges are expunged as inadequate intellectual and creative frameworks for the 21st century. Gone. So that I am here is historic, yes. That we are here is historic, yes. There is a great deal of work for us to accomplish here at home as an institution, and there is a great deal of good work for us to undertake out in the wide world of art and design. So among our priorities will be to map onto and weave throughout everything we do in all of our community's commitment to and aspirations concerning social equity, inclusion, and diversity. And so what else do we dream? I want to share 5 interconnected and sometimes interdependent themes as we set the stage for RISD's next 150 years. They are amplify, evolve, cultivate, engage, and connect. We seek to amplify the world's most promising and impactful creative people. Therefore, a student's ability to attend RISD must not depend on family resources. Increasing financial aid and scholarships ensures that the most exciting undergraduates and graduate students worldwide can attend. Once here, we'll think about the holistic student experience, making the invisible costs of attendance a moot point for students such that financial resources are never an impediment to full participation. And as we focus on amplifying the whole individual, we must also focus on holistic wellness and develop an infrastructure with curricular and co-curricular implications that allows us to amplify the whole person and the many and varied differentiated needs of our students, to include redoubling our efforts to support our first-gen to college students, international students, neurodiverse students, and students living with disability, among other populations. This framing, of course, implies an ongoing commitment to evolve. For us, evolve means we continue to ensure our teaching expansively reflects the world's great art traditions, great design traditions, enables a more sustainable planet, and integrates and capitalizes upon emerging technologies. It means expanding our degree programs to include online and low residency programs, which extend our reach and create broader access, and hiring additional clusters of excellent faculty focused on knowledge bases such as First Nations, North Africa, Middle East, the Asia diaspora, sustainability and disability studies, among others. In so doing, we rapidly advance and infuse fields of knowledge making across the divisions, further incentivizing an institutional orientation. Moreover, it means capitalizing on our intimate size and expansive thinking to cultivate an institute that incentivizes collective interrogation, catalyzes surprising convergences, new investigations, discovery, and invention. To cultivate for us means tending to the development of the full range of our students' potential and bolstering our commitment to developing all of their creative and professional possibilities. It means building a more robust, strategic, and integrated relationship with our alums and corporate partners, and creating ambitious institutional initiatives, such as an incubator focused on entrepreneurship, VC engagement, and technological innovation. Cultivating our people also means that we continue to build on existing support for faculty research and the professional development of our staff, and that we serve the potential of all is an individual pursuit, but also a community-centric pursuit. Indeed, RISD is essential to and engages many communities. We are a community-centric place. We inhabit the global art and design community, the art and design educational community, and the Providence community. And we have a responsibility to not only continually evolve, but also to engage in our various communities and leverage our knowledge and influence to foster and advance principles-aligned progress. This will include the expansion of our national and global reach, our lifelong learning endeavors, our commitment to advancing justice in its multiple iterations, including social, climate, and design justice. It will include the expansion of key partnerships and initiatives, and will consist of hosting more global convenings like the New Spaces Symposium, and the development of a RISD in the World platform meant to enable fuller participation of our students worldwide and develop exciting programs that advance our core mission. One of our most important points of engagement is the RISD Museum. With our museum leading the way, we will continue to expand programming, public engagement, and enactment of our institutional values that embody our social equity and inclusion principles and serve as an example to museums worldwide of how thoughtful, ambitious, community-inclusive curation and stewardship can and should look. Finally, and perhaps most essentially, art and design emerge from and respond to human context. When I arrived here in April, I quickly learned that one of RISD's distinctive characteristics is that we long to connect, to form meaningful, strategic alliances with one another. Alums want to be connected to students. Students need to be connected to alums. Parents want to connect to the school. Departments want to find a way to overlap. To us, our interconnections and interdependencies, our communities are elemental. So over the next few years, we will focus energy on developing means by which our multiple communities can further cohere in service of amplifying, cultivating, evolving, engaging, and connecting. One of the mottos I live by is a quote from a line of poetry written by Gwendolyn Brooks, America's first Black woman to be awarded the Pulitzer Prize in Poetry. It's taken from a poem titled Paul Robeson, one of this country's first and most influential civil rights activists and a performing artist and attorney. So they too were firsts. And as Black people, they shared one of America's dominant histories, right? So the poem, as good poems do, manifests multiple levels of meaning, a meaning directed towards all human beings, no matter where or who they are, and a meaning and message directed at family, who share a common experience. Brooks wrote, "We are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond." In these 6 months, I've learned that ours is a community primarily defined by people who live in light of this quote, who believe in our mutuality, collective amplification, and service to each other and the wide world. This weekend is an example of the power of the RISD community to work collectively to advance our goals. Students, staff, and faculty defined the New Spaces Symposium theme, developed its infrastructure, and operationalized this magnificent celebration of all that RISD is and hopes to become. And so, beloveds, and I am calling you all beloveds because that is what communities do. We are a beloved community. I want you all to see what our community, what our collective action and collective work have meant, and what that community looks like here at RISD. So I'm going to call some names. This is a kind of show and tell. And when I call you, please stand. Co-chairs of the Inauguration Planning Committee, Becky Ebeling and Brooks Hagan, please stand. Stay standing. Don't sit down, Brooks. Faculty leaders, Ijlal Muzaffar, Abhishek Ganguly, who worked this summer to help bring this theme to life. Any faculty who are on the advisory committee, any faculty and staff on the operations committee, please stand. Okay, we're standing around. Stay standing. Deans, department heads, panelists in attendance, museum colleagues, all faculty, staff, and student volunteers who in any way have helped today and tomorrow take place, please stand. Yeah. Some of you all sat down and you shouldn't have, but that's okay. So sit down. Where is Kaiwa Buen Viaje? Where are you, Kaira? Stand up. So this gown is her design. She is Kaira Buen Viaje, class of 2020, fashion apparel. So we make stuff. And we make good-looking stuff. I wanted to thank all of those people collectively, and I wanted you to understand what the power of the RISD community is and what it looks like. I also wanted to thank all of the alum who had anything to do with the visual identity and all of our online life around this New Spaces. So when I look at that group, what I see is the very best of Rhode Island School of Design. I see a group that represents our collective yes. I see a group that reflects the best of what we can become. And I again want to thank all of you for your very hard work and your vision. And so what more will we become in the future? Stronger, more cohered, more connected, an institution aligned to a jointly held set of principles where all endeavors animate and elevate our key goals. A RISD that continues to nurture the world's most influential artists, designers, and scholars. An institution that cultivates all of its members' aspirations. An institution that prepares its students for their nonlinear, complex, beautiful, and gorgeous lives, and prepares them to be effective and powerful citizens and actors on the world's stage, effective business owners, makers, producers, an institution that has broadened its access and is at the vanguard of accessible education, an institution that engages technologies in service of art and design, and an institution that embraces evolution. A place of great joy, great celebration, extraordinary innovation, a place where everyone is seen, heard, served, and honored, where we ask hard questions of one another out of ambitious for the innate talent before us and amid us, a place where complexity is celebrated and inventive answers revealed. RISD, in my view, is a place of ineffable potential. We exist beyond the imagination and reside in the heart of all things that matter and that are possible. To the board, thank you for your confidence and support in my leadership. I am thrilled to be here. Thank you all for being here. Students, trustees, faculty, parents, alums, patrons, collectors, entrepreneurs, community members, beloved friends. Thank you for your support of what we do here at Rhode Island School of Design. And I again want to welcome you into our vision and dreams for the future of RISD, this collective effort. Just as our work serves the larger collective, we welcome you into our evolution. We welcome all into our amplification. We welcome you into our cultivation. We welcome you into our engagement with the big wide world. When we see each other, when we honor the potential in others, when we serve each other and ask ourselves and others hard questions, our possibilities are boundless. So, indeed, we are each other's harvest, yes. We are each other's business, yes. And we are each other's magnitude and bond, yes. That will drive our future. Thank you.
I'm kind of emotional from this. Wow. We're very lucky. Tony, get ready. Crystal Williams, we look forward to your tenure as RISD's leader. And now something we've all been looking forward to. Please welcome RISD's multi-talented alumnus, interim assistant vice president for social equity and inclusion, Tony Johnson, to the mic for a special performance in honor of Crystal.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it's done. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until Crystal Williams, RISD's 18th president, to the Rhode Island School of Design Board of Trustees, RISD alumni, students, faculty, staff, friends of RISD, parents, and citizens of Providence, it is indeed a pleasure to be the last tone and texture of this incredible ceremony. So much so that I had to make sure that the next generation was also a part of honoring you. And so my son is here today to celebrate and to honor you. President Williams, may your light shine bright, and may your bountiful color be as vibrant as ever before. I think I join with our entire community today to say that this is an inspirational and defining moment. And may this creative community, our individual and collective colors, meet this moment and make the impact that only the creatives can make. Reflect with me today. You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged. Oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all in the darkness inside you. Ooh, the darkness inside you. The darkness inside you can make you feel small, but I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid. Just let them show your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful like a rainbow. Ooh, so show me your smile then. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when I last saw you laughing. But if this world makes you crazy and you've taken all of you can bear, well, just call me up, because you know I'll be there, and I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid. You gotta let them show your true colors. Your true colors, 'cause they're beautiful. shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid, please let them show your true colors. We need your true colors, 'cause they're beautiful, and I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid, gotta let them show your true colors, show your true colors, 'cause they're beautiful. We need brand new colors and bold new colors that are beautiful. New spaces need new colors, joyful colors that are beautiful. So design new colors and film new colors that are beautiful. We need healing colors and joyful colors that are beautiful, that are beautiful, that are beautiful, that are beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you, Tony. And thank your beautiful son who's grown up in honor of our president. Before we go today, we want to thank the artists and performers who've already gifted us with their talents. Tony, Gabby, Undertow, it's been a pleasure to see and hear from you today. This concludes the investiture ceremony. We ask that you please remain seated and allow the recessional to pass before you exit. Please join all of us at Market Square for a community celebration. The yellow wristband in your program will grant access to the food tent. You can also show your RISD ID or your Eventbrite ticket for access. At this time, I'd like to welcome back Undertow to lead out the procession. And one more time, let's give it up for RISD's 18th president, Crystal Williams.